Hey guys, it's Mare. Today we are talking about stance and grip changes, how can you apply them into your lifts, when to use them, and why. Let's go. By adjusting your grip or your stance, we can just kind of target whatever muscle that we're working on just a little bit differently. If we have a little bit more weakness or something that we're trying to work on, we can just change our stance or our grips and just hit that muscle a little bit different to really kind of build up so we can get more strength to be able to lift that and lift a little bit better. So first we're going to talk about stance adjustment. We're really going to focus right now on our leg press. We can also add this into our squat as well, and we'll kind of go over that in just a minute. But for our stance, for our leg press, there's 3 different kinds of stances. You have your narrow, your neutral, and your wide. And they all kind of target your muscles just a little bit differently. So first, let's talk about our neutral stance on how we would normally just do the lift. When our neutral stance, kind of more like shoulder width apart, but it's using pretty much all of our muscles as comfortably as they want to be, right? Now, if we want to target a little bit more quad, we're going to bring our feet in just a little bit. We're going to kind of narrow them in. This is definitely going to hit more of our quad. And sometimes we have to lower the weight just a little bit since we're just trying to address our little bit more weak points. All right, so now that we've talked about our narrow stance, which really focuses on our quad, which might be your weak point, might not be, but we got our more neutral stance, which uses a lot of your quad and your glute. But now we're going to do a wide stance. You're gonna kind of pull them as far out as you can, and that's gonna focus a lot more on your glutes. We might have to lower the weight just because from our neutral stance to our other stances, we might not be as strong. We can work up to that though. So then we just have our wide stance, again, addressing just the different muscle groups that you use in your leg press. If you want to add a little bit more spice, we can go up, we can go down, only on our leg press though. Today I'm going to just do a little bit more wide stance and just kind of add those in so we can really build up our glutes. So just all of those stances that we had just talked about on our leg press can also be applied to our barbell squat. So we're going to go over those just a little bit again, since with our squat we also have to incorporate our back to balance since we're not just laying down on the leg press machine. So we have to adjust our stance just a little bit. So we're going to start with just our neutral stance, and again this just uses all of our muscles to complete the lift. That's what a compound lift is. So we're just doing our regular squat. Easy peasy, right? So we can also do our wide stance. Now I'm gonna try and get my feet almost to the edge here. You can go as wide as you need to, as comfortable as you need to. We want to challenge ourselves. With our wide stance, we're also focusing a lot more on our glutes. Our glutes are very important to complete our lift in our squats. Here's the trick for our narrow stance, is I will grab a plate right here and I'll just put it on the ground and I just elevate my heels just a little bit because my ankle mobility is not great. So this is how we're going to do our narrow stance. Remember, our narrow stance really focuses on really building up our quads. Just like that. All of these different stances can be applied to pretty much most leg exercises. We have our hack squat, pendulum, whatever you have at your gym, just our regular barbell, leg press, add those stances in, and it's actually a little bit more superior to necessarily just isolating that muscle, isolating those glutes. We can also add in these, and I kind of like them a little bit better. If I don't have the machine or the equipment in order to isolate those muscles, you can just add in those different stances to target that muscle. Now, for our upper body movements, we do a grip change. And we could do the same thing with bench press. So we have our neutral grip, and I usually just kind of like to have it right here, wherever is most comfortable for you. This is where my neutral grip kind of hits. We're gonna bring it in a little bit, and what our narrow grip does is it really focuses on our triceps. So we're gonna go from our neutral grip right here, and I'm gonna bring my hands in pretty close to me to really work and focus on our triceps. So like that, from our neutral grip to our narrow grip, just kind of changing the focus on which muscles we're using. So now we're going to move our hands all the way out, and this really puts more emphasis on our pecs to complete the lift. And I'm gonna come all the way out here, almost to like where these rings are out here. So in addition to our narrow, neutral, and wide grip, we can also change the rotation of our grip. So we're gonna switch out our bar here from our regular barbell to our multi-grip bar. I actually love this bar so much. So we have our neutral and our narrow and our wide grips. So we have our rotational turns with the bars going up and down this way. And you can also do narrow, neutral, and wide grip as well. Neutral grip for me, I feel like these are a lot better. So again, remember, we can go this way, but we're gonna rotate them in. From our barbell, we just kind of have our hands straight forward. This is gonna kind of bring our lats down and bring our elbows down when we're doing these different kinds of rotational grips. Just focusing a little bit differently on what muscle we're targeting and where we're hitting. So just like our grips and our bench press, we can also add them into our cable attachment. So we have our regular, I would just call it the lat pull down bar, but again, this is just like our regular barbell. But we also have different grips. So we have this wide one right here, and again, my grip is twisted. So instead of holding it this way, like we would on this other bar, we're gonna be holding it on the outside. And not just that, we have this guy up here, and this brings our grip inward. And we're gonna use this one today. So I really like this one. This just really focuses a little bit different on our back. We're gonna bring our grip in, and just kind of target my muscle just a little bit different. So adjusting our grip, it doesn't just have to be with the barbell or any of the cable attachments. You can also do it with dumbbells. We're gonna be doing our incline bench press here. We just can adjust where we're putting our elbows and our arms. So again, if we're tucking them in a little bit, you can see where I'm changing my grip. I can bring it way out here. I can bring them way forward. You can kind of adjust your grip from there. I'm gonna kind of keep it a little bit more neutral today. And that's it. Changing your stance and your grip can just address those weaknesses in your lifts to help you get stronger to get those lifts up. Thanks to Fit Club for letting me come in today. Get out there, get lifting.